Hi friends, happy Canada Day. Well, Canada Day for you if you're watching this when it goes out. It's still the end of May for me today, but we are going to be doing a little bit of herping. I know, it looks like I'm on some busy street, and I am, but I promise you we are going to be doing some herping today at a very special place and a part of Canada's heritage. Let's check it out. Okay, so today I have come into London, Ontario, and I'm here right next to a busy street. And it's right by a bowling alley, a gas station, and a driving range. And there's a cemetery right across the street. Probably not what you'd think of as a good place to look for reptiles and amphibians. But this is why we're here. This little drainage ditch looking thing is Mud Creek. It may not look like much or have a flashy name, but this little unassuming trickle of water has an impressive pedigree, tied to a world famous Canadian naturalist and environmentalist. David Suzuki is a companion of the Order of Canada and has been voted the 5th greatest Canadian of all time. He was born in BC, but lived in the western part of London through his high school years. In fact, about 7 years ago, before my family and I moved to the US for a few years, I lived in an apartment complex right over there. Decades ago, the land that the complex is on was actually David Suzuki's grandfather's farm. And exploring this very creek right here in the 1950s is what kindled a lifelong love of nature in young David Suzuki. How cool is that? Okay, so now that we've got our little history lesson out of the way, let's see what we can find. We'll start in this little marshy area that's a bit over there. I'm hoping we can find some frogs, snakes, maybe even a turtle. Let's go! So this is a healthy, young, chonky male bullfrog. I just caught him. He's still a little slow moving, but that's okay. Yesterday was kind of cold. You can tell he's a male because of this yellow right here under his throat, and his ears are bigger than his eyes. So we know he's a male. So we're just gonna go put him back and let him be and look for some other stuff. Are you ready to go home? There's this little, oh, there you go. Bye. This is a bullfrog tadpole. Tadpoles are the larva stage of a frog's life cycle. As they mature, they will gradually become more frog-like. Some species go from egg to tadpole to frog in one season. Bullfrogs, on the other hand, can spend years in their larval form. They will continue to grow just like a frog would, but they never make the switch from tadpole to the bigger actual frog. Some never make the jump. Get it? Because frogs jump. The biggest tadpole ever found was in Arizona and was over 10 inches long. How cool is that? If you have ever picked up a frog, you might have noticed that they feel weird. Not just because they are kind of slimy, but because of the structure of their body, they just feel weird compared to other vertebrates. Kind of less solid. Here's why. They have no ribs. For many animals, us included, ribs are an important part of how we breathe. Expand our chest cavity using our ribs and our diaphragm to draw air into our lungs. When it's time to exhale, we compress our chest and force the spent air out. Frogs have no ribs or diaphragm and can't do this. So how do they breathe? Well, they breathe through their skin as long as it's wet, so that helps. But they also need to get actual air into their lungs. To pull this off, they use their throat. When this little guy expands his throat, he draws air into his mouth through his nostrils. Then he closes his nostrils and compresses his throat to push the air into his lungs. He will then expand his throat again, this time with the nostrils closed, to suck the spent air out of his lungs. Then he opens his nostrils and pushes the air out. Neat, eh? No Canadian herping adventure would be complete without Canada's most iconic reptile, the Cobra Chicken. or in other words, the Canada goose. A lot of people think that these guys are nuisances, but I personally have a soft spot for them. You know, we would see them everywhere in the States, and it was kind of like, you know, a little bit of home was still there with us, though we were very far away. And they are really quite cute. I mean, look at them. And then the little babies, they're just cute.
If you go in there, I'm not going in after you.
Alright, I'll just swim in there forever then. I'll become one of them. So here we have a female owl painted turtle who is in great shape and is very feisty and alert. So we know that this girl is in fact a girl because of a couple of reasons. One thing that you can note is that her plastron is not concave and is actually very smooth and flat. Another big marker is her nails, especially these front ones. If she was a male, these would be about double this length. Thank you for showing them off. Oh my goodness. Now thank you for using them to claw me to bits. And also, males have a much bigger tail than a female. She's like, I will not show you my tail. So, as with all native turtle species in Ontario, she is either threatened, vulnerable, or in danger. A lot of the things that are killing these guys is road mortality and habitat loss. Actually, I think there might be a dead animal on the road right there too. So some other things that you can do are volunteer or donate to your local conservation authority. Volunteer and donate for your provincial or state or national parks. You can also donate to turtle charities. You can find them all online. There will also be some links in the description below. You can even go and clean up around your native ponds and lakes and take away garbage and plastics that are killing these guys. Look at all those beautiful flowers. They're so pretty.
Here's a snake.
Where? Oh, hello. Come here, baby. It's okay. Oh. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you're brand new. You're so... Hello. Oh, and you're in blue. Oh, baby. Okay, so we caught our first snake. It's a baby common garter snake who is in blue, one of the 3 species of garter snakes here in Ontario. He's clearly very young still, but he's growing. Actually, I think it's a she. She's growing. Oh, she's so pretty. All right, so because she's in blue, we don't want to handle her for too long because we don't want to stress her out. But I do want to check under these boards, so I'm going to hand her to my dad, and then we're going to put all these boards back and let her go. Be safe. Goodbye. Aww. Just a little farther downstream is a $15 million restoration project designed to improve the health of the creek and return it to a more natural state. They are widening and deepening the culvert with the intent to speed up the flow, improving water quality and reducing the chance of seasonal flooding. They are also doing a lot of work replacing non-native tree species with native ones. The area will look a bit barren for several years until the newly planted native trees establish, which I know some residents are frustrated with. But that work should really help this entire watershed area and hopefully even attract more species. Neat, eh? Please hit that like button if you enjoyed joining me on my trip into the big city for an urban herping adventure. And remember to nurture all nature. Bye! Hi friends! Welcome to Canada Day. Alright, under time. All I see is just a goose head bobbling in the distance from behind you.
Let me know if anyone's gonna bite me in the ass, okay?
Oh, they're all the way over there. That's a pretty tree. I want to climb those trees. I mean, I have been muddier after a herping adventure.